is CBS News Miami.
Good afternoon and thank you for joining us. I'm Lauren Pastrana. Welcome to CBS News Miami's 4 p.m. Quickcast. Let's take a look at today's top stories. Right off the top, a fatal shooting in Coral Springs. Chopper 4 over the scene along Lakeview Drive and West Atlantic Boulevard. That's where police say they found a man on the ground with multiple gunshot wounds. Officers immediately began trying to save him, but they were unsuccessful. He was pronounced dead on the scene. A gun was also found. Authorities are still trying to figure out a motive for the shooting. CBS News Miami is tracking the tropics. We are keeping a close eye on now Tropical Storm Beryl. The powerful system has weakened after making landfall in Texas this morning as a hurricane. And here's a look at where Beryl is now. Earlier today, the storm made landfall between Galveston and Corpus Christi. Let's get right to next weather meteorologist Cindy Pressler, who's tracking it all for us. Cindy?
We still have a lot of warnings going with this. Of course, you always have tornado warnings when you have a landfalling hurricane. And you mentioned that is now a tropical storm. So it has weakened considerably down to 60-mile-per-hour winds. Continues to track to the north-northeast, bringing heavy rain with it. And a lot of flooding going on in the Houston area right now. Look at how much rain, as much as almost a foot of rain in spots, a little bit less to the north, but this is enough to cause a lot of flooding in that area. A lot of folks are still without power. Here's the track that the Hurricane Center feels that will continue to weaken down to just a remnant low eventually as it tracks to the north and east, moves into Arkansas, Missouri, and eventually into the Ohio Valley, and it'll take rain with it. So that's the area that's going to pick up a lot of rain and some thunderstorms. But look at this, the tropics are free of anything else going on out there. So right now, Beryl is going to be all we're talking about, at least for the next week or so. We have so much dust out there. This is Saharan dust, and that tends to suppress hurricane and tropical storm development. So as long as we have this thick dust in place, this is going to be a good thing. As a matter of fact, you probably noticed very hazy conditions today, cloudy skies. That's the dust that's sitting right over the top of South Florida right now. And this dust is going to hang around again tomorrow. May pull off a little bit by the end of the week, but for the time being, it's looking pretty good. Gulf of Mexico also very dusty and dry right now, so this is all good. But the temperatures, my goodness, 91 degrees, humidity sky high, 63% with that southeasterly flow pulling in lots of tropical moisture. So a heat advisory continues until 6 o'clock tonight, all of South Florida, including the Keys. Feels like 105 to 110 degrees, and that's going to probably be the case again tomorrow. You see, not a lot of thunderstorms out here. Trying to get some going over in Collier County with the southeasterly flow, but because the dust is there, that's dry air aloft, so that tends to keep it down. Now, as far as our rain chances, that will continue to go up a little bit by the end of the week, so we'll see more scattered showers and thunderstorms, mainly over inland areas. However, models want to paint some on again tomorrow afternoon, but not really as likely. It's just not seeing that dust out there at this point. So the dust, as long as we have it, that'll keep the rain chances fairly low. Hot and humid, southeasterly flow. Any thunderstorms that develop will be short-lived. And by Tuesday, Wednesday, lots of Saharan dust, high pressure still pulling in here. So the storms will increase by the end of the week. But overall, this looks like a very hot and sticky week to be out there into the parts of July here. 93 Tuesday, Wednesday 92. Rain chances up just a little bit, but each and every day, hot, humid, and we'll keep that Saharan dust around to keep the rain chances down.
Cindy, thank you. And Beryl is now a tropical storm, but still packing a powerful punch. CBS News Miami's Omar Villafranca reports from Galveston, Texas.
Beryl's torrential rain quickly flooded streets in Houston. A few cars plowed through deep water, and at least one had to be pushed. Fierce winds also battered Sugar Land, Texas, after Beryl made landfall as a Category 1 hurricane. Storm surge rose to about 7 feet in areas just west of Galveston Bay.
For those of us that do live on the island, we're very well prepared in terms of the flooding.
In Houston, the mayor urged residents to prepare.
Our worst enemy is our complacency. We can't allow this storm to slip up on us.
A disaster declaration has been issued for more than 100 Texas counties. As the state's lieutenant governor warned, the storm's path will impact communities inland in addition to along the coast. With potential impacts as far south as Corpus Christi, residents along the Texas coast were boarding up windows in anticipation of Beryl.
Once you've been through one and you see the storm and the rain and the wind, you want to be sure you're prepared.
Just 2 weeks ago, Tropical Storm Alberto flooded the Corpus Christi area. Ryan Dunn manages a waterfront bar impacted by that storm and says he's concerned about losing business during what's expected to be a very active hurricane season.
It's just the beginning of the hurricane season, like the very beginning. So it puts us at a little bit of fear.
While the wind gets all the headlines, it's the storm surge that's the deadliest part of a hurricane. In fact, over the last decade, more than half of the deaths from hurricanes come from storm surge. Now, we're expecting anywhere from 4 to 7 feet of storm surge here, and then it'll continue raining, and then that rain will head up north. Omar Villafranca, CBS News, Galveston, Texas.
Now at 4, an investigation is underway after rescue crews pulled a man out of a pool in Lauderdale Lakes. This all happened at a home near Northwest 31st Avenue and 44th Street. Rescue crews say they found the man in cardiac arrest, resuscitated him, then rushed him to the hospital where he remains at this hour. A final farewell for a South Florida teen who was struck and killed by lightning. This afternoon, family and friends are gathering to honor his life and legacy. CBS News Miami's Joan Murray reports.
People taking a moment to say goodbye to Ethan Lawrence. He was a runner at West Broward High School, a runner in college, and a new dad. Dozens of mourners here at Potential Church to grieve and celebrate the life of 19-year-old Ethan Lawrence. Lawrence, a competitive runner, died suddenly 8 days ago while running in Vista View Park. Police say he was struck by lightning.
We're all suffering. He was a gentle giant.
His family spoke about their loss the next day, describing how they found Ethan's cross on the ground where he died.
The lightning came out of nowhere. There were the alarms, the sirens did not go off, and it just came out of nowhere.
Elliot Mason is a running coach who counseled Ethan Lawrence.
There was a race on 4th of July, and they did a moment of silence just before that race, as a observance of his passing.
And Ethan Lawrence's mom does not want her son to be forgotten. She is hoping to organize races in his honor. We'll have more on that coming up at 5 o'clock. Reporting in Cooper City, Joan Murray, CBS News, Miami.
Danger on the water after police say 2 people on a personal watercraft shot into the backyard of a home and hit someone. This happened near Northwest 12th Avenue and South River Drive around 7 p.m. last night. Police say there was a party at the house when a fight broke out and shots were fired by the people on the personal watercraft. One man was shot and taken to the hospital, but he is expected to be okay. If you have plans to travel in and out of Key Biscayne, expect some heavy traffic. Work is currently underway on the Rickenbacker Causeway months after a disastrous first attempt ended with a traffic nightmare. CBS News Miami's Morgan Riner has more on what this means for drivers.
Drivers stranded for hours in April.
We had a complete closure both southbound and northbound in one phase. We had massive vehicular traffic in the area.
Mario Cabrera is the District 6 construction engineer. He said the Florida Department of Transportation did not expect this on April 14th when they rerouted drivers coming off the Rickenbacker Causeway from heading westbound on the flyover bridge.
Learned is that now we're going to construct this job in 2 phases.
So here's what you can expect to see starting Monday through July 20th. The westbound flyover bridge ramp to southbound on US 1 will be closed. Once completed, the northbound side of the ramp to I-95 will be shut down for repairs from July 21st through August 3rd. Cabrera says that to help ease traffic backup, FDOT hired traffic engineers to provide optimal traffic routes during construction. Police officers will be there every day of the ramp closure from 2 to 10 p.m. to direct traffic. Residents hope the plans work to minimize delays.
If you're telling me that we're going to have to wait 9 hours to get out of the island, I mean, that's crazy. It's at the same time to go to Paris.
So why is this happening? The Florida Department of Transportation says it is needed to extend the life of the bridge and maintain its structural integrity. In Miami, Morgan Riner, CBS News, Miami.
When we come back, a boiling new trend. What climate experts are saying about last month's scorching heat. Welcome back to CBS News Miami's 4 p.m. Quickcast. Now to the latest in the campaign for the White House. Tomorrow, former President Donald Trump is making a South Florida stop. He'll hold a rally at his hotel in Doral. The big question is whether he will announce his running mate there. U.S. Senator Marco Rubio, a Miami native, is seen as a top contender for the slot. Rubio is also scheduled to be at the rally tomorrow. President Biden spent the day making phone calls to Democratic lawmakers, trying to assure them that he is the only person who can defeat former President Trump in the fall. CBS News Miami's Nicole Skenga has more details from Washington, D.C.
President Biden has launched an aggressive push to rally support with Democrats.
I am not going anywhere.
Biden called into MSNBC's Morning Joe and admitted his debate performance marked a terrible night, but says he's still best positioned to beat former President Trump in November.
I wouldn't be running if I didn't absolutely believe that I am the best candidate to beat Donald Trump in 2024.
But the president is losing support of a small but growing list of House Democrats who say they don't believe he can beat Trump after that debate performance.
The polling is going in the opposite direction. I think we have to be honest with ourselves. The situation is not getting better. Frankly, it's getting worse.
In a letter sent to congressional Democrats Monday, the president argued that voters are the ones who get to pick their nominee, adding, "The voters have spoken." But Democrats in the battleground state of Pennsylvania who spoke with us seemed split on the issue.
Biden just needs to step down and let someone else take the reins.
At this point, no. It's a little too late for that. I think he'll do fine.
Even Biden's supporters called this a critical make-it-or-break-it week for him as he works to turn around his campaign ahead of next week's Republican National Convention. Nicole Skenga, CBS News, Washington.
If you thought June felt hotter than usual, well, you're not wrong. The European Union's Climate Monitoring Service says this past June was hotter than any other June on record across the world. The data released also suggests this year will most likely outrank 2023 as the hottest year. Officials say the El Nino natural weather phenomenon pushed temperatures to record highs in the year so far. And that's it for CBS News Miami's Quickcast. I'm Lauren Pastrana. Stay tuned for more news right here on CBS Miami.